Got a high of 5 viewers right now. What's going on? Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, no
No,
crazy.
seriously though, political marketing I think is an important thing, introduction, a term that should be introduced to public discourse because I don't think the left thinks about that. And I think one of the things that marketers do well is acknowledge the limitations, which is a rule of creativity, by the way. Limitations are creativity's best friend. So they acknowledge like what is the consumer behavior? What are their wants, wishes, and
Exactly.
needs?
Exactly.
And it's always convenience. Like convenience drives consumer behavior. What drives voter behavior? Whether or not they care, whether or not they
Yes.
know enough to care. So you've really got to reduce things down to creative communication.
Yes.
And people think that creativity is this vast landscape. You just go around and do whatever you want. No, it's about there's a goal, there's a framework that you have to adhere to. And the framework that the left doesn't want to accept is that modern day politics in America is a professional sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the competitive culture that you're dealing with. And if you don't accept that, then you don't see it for what it is.
Not to mention, like, voters and non-voters alike aren't always going to be convinced that, like, the issues that are um, prominent or not, or the issues that are the most consequential, I guess you could say, are just convincing them that they will be affected by them and that they will have like an actual impact on their lives, because a lot of people aren't really convinced. Like it does take a lot of explaining, convincing, like, hey, if this or that legislation gets passed, or if this person becomes president, that means like further control of the Supreme Court, and like certain legislation will get passed. This will get worse, that will get worse, and it's all about just looking at the potential risks when it comes to who gets to exercise and wield power, and like just getting people to understand that can go a long way. Like it's, I mean, hell, that's why like a lot of progressives in 2020 were able to get a lot of non-voters actually involved and registered to vote, and that's what gave a lot of swing states to Biden.
Yeah. Well, we needed an heir apparent from Bernie. Bernie needed to anoint someone,
Right.
and someone else needed to step up. And we've had a lot of swings and misses. I mean, I got my issues with AOC, but I still like her. I know she's not perfect. She definitely hasn't been on point enough with unions. Definitely acknowledge that for sure.
Right.
I also just don't think she's executive material. I think she's good for the House, maybe the Senate someday, but I don't see her
Right.
in the White House. I really don't. I don't think she's talented enough. Sorry, I think she's beautiful, but I don't think she's smart enough to be president.
Maybe a couple
Um,
decades down the line, we'll see.
yeah, yeah, no, good point. She could, through experience, become a real veteran. You know, so yeah, exactly. Like 3 or 4 cycles from now, like or two, or
Sure.
even just two, or even just 2 or 3.
Sure.
In thinking of them in 4 year cycles, I should say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Be-
it's possible.
because we, yeah, but yeah, no, there should be a new heir apparent from Bernie, and I just don't see anyone on the left. There's some union people that they referred to in Mike's chat that I thought were, oh, Jasmine Crockett, yeah, that's the one from
Hey,
Texas.
Thunderbird.
Let me see. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, well, right on cue.
Jasmine Crockett.
Like gave you
I know,
exactly the
right?
name you were looking for too, huh?
Yep.
I like
Imagine
that.
that.
I like that. The UAW union leader. I think his name's Seth or Scott or something like that. I
Uh
forget.
huh.
I forget his name exactly, but he's killing it. Like every time he goes on TV, like every time he gives a speech, it's fiery.
Who
Like
who are you talking about?
the head of the UAW union, I believe.
Seth Goldstein?
Maybe.
No, Seth Harris. Seth Harris. No, wait.
No. Is it
UAW.
United Auto Workers? I thought it
Seth.
was.
He's a union boss.
Yes.
It's Seth Harris, isn't it?
Is it? I
Oh
think
god, we look like idiots
I think
now.
it is. I think. Let's see. Let me
Yeah,
actually
Seth
get
Harris.
a picture of him. Who is that? Shawn Fain.
Sean Fain. Oh yeah,
Shawn
that's what they
Fain.
kept talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
they talked about Sean Fain.
Yeah. Shawn Fain's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I really, Really like what he's been doing. He's fiery. Like if it, I think he um down the line, because we're talking like post Biden's second term. Hopefully that instead of a Trump first term, that's a whole other conversation. Um, they are actually set on um, what is basically like the closest thing to a general strike that this country will ever see come spring 2028. And that's an election cycle right there, because that's when I think it's the big three of the the big automakers or whatever. All their
Mhm.
contracts are set for renewal around that time or something like that, and that's gonna be really big because that's never happened before. Because usually, like it's a different cycle. Like for different auto companies that you know, are unionized with UAE. Um, their contracts are usually set for renewal at different times. But with this recent negotiation, I believe they set it up to where they are set for renegotiation at the exact same time in spring 2028. So that's going to be very, very interesting. And if they don't get everything that they want, if they're not satisfied, that could lead to perhaps like the biggest strike this country has ever seen.
Aw, snap.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I'm kind of
Spring of 2023.
it's
Spring
like
of when?
2028. I mean,
Oh, that's a
that's
long
the gist
time.
of it, but I that's I'm not 100% clear on the specifics.
All right. Well, you gotta do some research on that one. I want to know more about it. North America
Absolutely,
Automotive Composite Leaf Springs. Anyway,
that might be it.
um,
Yeah.
so